I'm going to explain to you why Bitcoiners are the dumbest people on the planet. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are, whenever you are. Thank you for watching this video. My name is Da Vinci. I'm in a pipe 5x5 here in Dubai. And man, you know what? I saw this clickbait friggin' tweet, right? From somebody who, didn't have a lot of followers. And all of a sudden now he's getting a lot of attention, right? Because, well, obviously he posted something that was bait. He said Bitcoin bros are some of the most optimistic, true, dumbest people on the planet. It's gone up a lot is their only argument as to why it's worthwhile. Yes. Warren Buffett, man, it's his only argument for, investing starting from the long run, right, is the only reason why it's worthwhile. He's just the dumbest person on the planet too, right? But, oh, damn. Well, but I like teaching people how Bitcoin works and why it is the way it is. And yeah, it still constitutes us being dumb for, doing something like, I don't know, going all in and, buying everything that we've got and other people's money's got in Bitcoin. That's a dumbass move. Profitable, but still dumb. So, with that said, right? The reason why we're so dumb is because we, right, see a technology which we believe that's going to work. We don't know it's going to work for sure. Hey, I need to disturb you for a second because I'm going to be doing a course on how to buy Bitcoin, how to use Bitcoin, how to use a wallet, how to use a hardware wallet, how to basically store Bitcoin for the long term. Because we all know that it's going to be the money. You need to have this. Very happy to help you guys. We don't know that. We do not. Right? That makes us dumbasses for putting all our money into a technology that we do not know for sure is going to work. But what we do know is based on our knowledge and our historical facts and evidence that there's a high probability, extremely high probability, that it will work, but not an absolute. So, with that said, right, we're taking a risk. We're taking a big gamble here, which is dumb, right? But we're willing to take that dumb move. Why? Well, on the balance of probabilities, which is what we have to go on, right? On the balance of probabilities, it is going to work. Why do we know that it's going to work? Because we know the technology, we understand what the blockchain is, we understand how hashing works, we understand how, our current financial system works, and which on the balance of probabilities will fail, right? Has a higher probability, our financial system, our current one that you're using today, the one that you use every day to buy stuff at the store, is going to fail, has a high probability of failure rate. It's inverse proportionally to Bitcoin's success to the US dollar and currency failing. Meaning that whilst Bitcoin has a high probability of success that we believe, right? That's true, right? Because that's all we can go on, right? We don't know the future exactly, right? It has a very high probability based on what we know that it's going to succeed, right? So that's high, very high. Like let's just say 99.9%. And what is the probability that we believe that the US dollar and the currency is going to fail? For me, it's 100%. Only reason why is because every single fiat currency, the same system that we've used, goes to zero, right? Collapses completely. There's a 100% failure rate. So since we're looking at the history and we're going, we've done that before. And it's always failed. That means it's going to fail again. Yeah. Right? That is a basic premise, right? For, determining if something's going to work or not going to work. We don't have any historical premise for or facts for Bitcoin to work or not, right? That's true. But we do have lots and lots of evidence, historical evidence, lots of history. We have oodles and oodles of what happens at the end of our financial system, right? And we are here, okay? So, with that said, right, whilst some of y'all might have a less than 100%, maybe 99%, right, belief that the system is going to collapse within your lifetime, actually. Let's preface that, right? Because depending on your age, of course, right, it won't matter, right? So that's what Keynesians would say, right? In the long run, we're all dead, right? Because the other side of the argument is that this is not sustainable, whilst, Keynesian, who's dead, right? In the long run, it didn't matter for him because he's dead by the time he profited from our current financial system, and now he's dead, right? So it don't matter. He doesn't have to. He doesn't have to suffer the repercussions of our current financial system. Somebody else does. So, with that said, right? This is why it's lucrative, our current financial system, to some people who will not see the end of the collapse of this current system. Whilst the majority of us that are alive today will. Okay. So this is why we invest in Bitcoin. Why does Bitcoin work over our current financial system? Well, because simply put, right? If I can print money and you have to work for it, that might not be considered fair, right? That means you're a slave to me because I didn't have to do jack. Now, with Bitcoin, right, I have to work for that. I have to earn that. I have to buy that early, right? That's also work. And hold it. That's also work, right? So, those are the difference. And Bitcoin has limited supply, fixed supply. And some people would say, well, especially this guy who I remember him saying, it can be manipulated, right? Let me just bring up his. It can be manipulated, right? All this, right? So Bitcoin can be manipulated by the people who hold it. Well, as soon as they sell it, that's it. It's gone. They can't print more. It's gone into somebody else's hands, right? Can governments ban it? Well, I mean, we've talked about this many times on the show. No, because, well, they've tried banning things before, right? You can see it with drugs and alcohol and all that kind of stuff throughout history, and they failed. They failed miserably with trying to ban books, which is the easiest thing to ban since the invention of the printing press. We just have to hunt down those printing presses. Those things are huge, the size of a massive room, and destroy them. But somehow they weren't able to do that. So, this means there's no way to stop technology whose time has come, just like AI. I think AI is a double-edged sword, just like everything we invent, right? Whether it's even Bitcoin, right? It's just a thing. It's just a tool, right? How you use the tool is not that makes the tool evil. It's you. So, with that said, right, there's no stopping this tool, right? Along with AI and so many others. Just because it's volatile is reducing in terms of percentage doesn't mean it's reducing in terms of whole numbers. Okay. You know, honestly, if you think volatility is a problem, right? Even though the US dollar is volatile too, right? You could just take a look at the Dixie, but whatever. Then just wait. When you're forced to use it as money, it's not volatile anymore, right? Now is it? Just wait, right? You don't have to buy now if you don't think the volatility is a problem, right? Yeah, that's my working effort to hold through the volatility. You don't have to work, right? You don't have to work, and you don't have to reap the gains of that work of holding through volatility. All right. A vast minority of people own the Bitcoins and the majority supply it. Well, you can't. They can manipulate it. It's true, 100%. But that manipulation, just like our current financial system, will come to an end. Because there's a fixed supply. There it is. All right, so let's go on to price action. You can see that Bitcoin seems to be rolling over. A lot of the different altcoins are rolling over. This is indication that we could be testing the lows here below the like around the 112 or maybe just a bit above that before we go a lot higher. Looking at Ethereum, right? Yeah, it looks like we have rolled over quite a bit. If you had stop losses down here, which would have been, just to try to see your luck, see if they're going to push this thing higher, would have been a smart thing to move. The risk is very tight. So, yeah. Hey, I need to disturb you for a second because I'm going to be doing a course on how to buy Bitcoin, how to use Bitcoin, how to use a wallet, how to use a hardware wallet, how to basically store Bitcoin for the long term. Because we all know that it's going to be the money. You need to have this. Very happy to help you guys. Might as well, right? But it broke through and looks like we are rolling down. So you might want to reverse that trade and head further south. Looking at where we could end up. This is interesting. I think this thing has gone further than anyone could have thought. And so you could probably do the 38.2 from here. Right about here. And you can see the 38.2, an obvious resistance support level that you could probably buy Ethereum at. And there's some, I knew it, there would be a support and resistance area somewhere in that location as we zoom out. You can see it's not matched up exactly, but close enough, right? You can see right here, boom, there you go. And there it is, right? And they got support that turned into resistance and failures. So that's the most likely target for Ethereum in the short term. So you could take this trade. You can see, oh, look at that. There's like a head and shoulders pattern here lining up just right at the, what's it called? The 0.236, the 236 level. So let's do a short and see if this thing can get us some profits here. I think you can just do a short, right? Yeah, let's see here. And can we get a 2-to-1? Probably not. No, we're going to have to reduce our risk here. So I would, since we're overextended on a downward move, I would just move this up a little bit, and then, that would be the smartest move. Let's just take this to the 50%, make sure that, it's already at the 2-to-1 risk to reward ratio, and just move this right up here. Boom. This is where you'd enter, and you're not willing to enter anywhere else, and just do the 2-to-1 straight down. Done to 38.2. And that's how you get it done. Boom. This is the proper risk because you're risking right up to the new highs, which, if it's going to do that, right, it's either manipulation a little bit, which is possible because they love to do that. And then, they'll probably just take it back down just because. All right. So that's where you would enter for Ethereum. Looking at Solana, it was bounced off of the 186, 187, and now we're failing to hold that line. Let's just take a look at the hourlies. Yeah, there was the bounce. There was like a good chance of a bounce there, and but no guarantees. And it looks like we're going to probably break it and head down. Not too far into the next garage. Probably just retest this support level at the 176 area here, and then continue its higher movements. But let's wait and see, because this thing could always break down to 153 very, very fast. Okay, that's it for today. If you're interested in trading, you can do so in the links in the description below. Thank you for watching. I'm interested in just teaching you guys how to use Bitcoin and so forth, and securing your wealth, ensuring that you guys are protected from the future collapse of our financial system that I believe is a 100% guarantee, right? Because I'm just dumb. And that's what I believe, because history has shown that over and over again. Now that's just dumb to believe that something happens. If you drop a rock, drop this bottle, and it's gonna believe that it's gonna hit the floor every single time. That's just dumb. All right, thanks for watching. Peace.